Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Gabe and I fracking love music. And today I am back with a new review of the brand new Don Toliver record, Octane. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I actually wasn't planning on doing this one, but I had a couple of friends who encouraged me to do this one. So I decided, you know what? If I got people asking for it, why not give the people what they want? So Don Toliver is back with his fifth studio album and his first release since his 2024 release of Hearthstone Psycho. He's a rapper, singer, songwriter, Jackboy signee, and in a lot of ways has been really carrying Travis Scott's Jackboy's label, obviously outside of Travis himself. But yeah, he's been really carrying that label, if we're being honest. And he's been getting a ton of hype since about 2020, the COVID era. And for the most part, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I have really struggled to see exactly what the hype is around Don Toliver's name over the past couple of years. I don't at all think that he's a bad or horrible artist. And he does make hits every now and again. There just isn't a lot for me personally that has stuck out and really shined of him as being like this really great artist either. I do think a lot of the time, Don kind of carries his influences a little too heavily in his music to the point where, like, sometimes, especially in his more, trap cuts, he just sounds kind of almost exactly like Travis Scott. Now, the one thing that does actually kind of separate Don Toliver from everyone else is his ability to also be an R&B singer. He actually does have a very interesting voice, and I actually am a fan of his singing voice. And I do think that that duality is very nice, that he can rap and he can sing. And on this new record, he blends both sounds of R&B and trap pretty evenly throughout it. I just again struggle to see a lot of what the appeal behind him and this record is about. I do think that the production on here is the best part, at least in my opinion. But even that, like, doesn't have the most extravagant or like unique sounds, and even some of the most, even some of the more extravagant cuts. I'm just personally not the biggest fan of them. Even tracks that people have gone crazy for, like Body, for me is just a miss. I do like the sample that he uses, like the sample itself. I just think that the way he uses it is a complete misfire. I just don't really enjoy the instrumental or even the deepened voice of the sample, and I just feel like it comes up maybe a little too often for me within that track. Or even secondhand with the "How am I supposed to let you go" sample. It just sounds like a beat to me that you would hear like as a loyalty free beat like on YouTube or something, and then take it to GarageBand so you can rap over it. I don't know. They just aren't the most standoutish to me. And then a lot of the other production on here can just be a little forgettable in my opinion. Now, I don't think that everything on here is just average or just bad or anything like that. I do enjoy some of the songs on here, like Excavator, All the Signs with Tizo Touchdown, Rosary with Travis Scott, and the flow he hits on Tiramisu is actually pretty decent as well. I do enjoy that track as well. I do think that his features like Tizo and Travis are the main appeal for me personally in these tracks, though, that I mentioned, or, the couple of tracks that I mentioned. They just stick out more than Don does on them, and I think that they do more than Don does. And a huge reason that I think that that is because of Don Toliver's very lackluster lyricism. Now I know that nobody's just going to Don Toliver for his writing or his lyricism, and that's not what he's known for. That's not what he's made, a name for. But it's just like he is so confident and so loud that like you can't overlook the writing. You understand what I'm saying? Like you will be listening to the song and maybe you're even vibing with the beat that's going on, but you can understand him so clearly and concise that like it's hard to ignore the writing, and the writing for me again is just very lackluster, and it kind of honestly makes me want to turn the song off at times. It's just being that, very clear in your delivery, while having some in my opinion, bad writing. It's just not the best combination, and it bothers me a lot throughout this track list, especially with the amount of overly sexual lyrics that are in this project. It just makes me feel so uncomfortable. And I said it in the last video where I reviewed LMA's project. Like, I do like, very sexy, freaky, horny, raunchy lyrics. I enjoy them. I just think that they need to be done right. If they're uncreative, if they're, not really grabbing, if you're just straight up saying what you're doing, um, without any type of character or personality behind it, I just don't enjoy it very much. And I just think that a lot of the writing comes off very corny and creepy sometimes. Like, baby, come here, I'm a grip on you. Like, or even, I'm so in here down to get it, I'm soiled here down in her kitty. Or don't care about the cost, I'm fucking her jaws, I'm fucking it. Or even this one isn't overly sexual, but oh, little mama in the club getting crazy and she always wet, I call her wavy. It's just like, what are we even talking about? Like, what are we even talking about? Like these are going nowhere. They're like the same again, corny, um, or sometimes like I said, like the whole like she always wet. I call her wavy. What? What are we on? It just feels like I'm getting whiplash every time one of these lines comes up, which is way too often, in my opinion. And it just makes me think like, was this like the whole theme of the album? Was just for it to be like this writing? Like, was that like the whole theme? Especially because this album, compared to a lot of the other albums that we've seen from him in the past, is kind of like directionless. Like, there's not, Hearthstone Psycho. Like, at least he had a character, and he had like a more focused sonic vision for that project, and even other projects we've seen from him in the past. But this one just didn't seem very focused at all. Like, there was no type of character he was playing, that we've seen from him in the past. There was no focus lyrically, except for, like I said, like these just like super overly sexual lyrics that I'm just not a fan of personally. Yeah, just very repetitive to me, and also very boring after a while, because like, why are we not getting anything else, from you lyrically? I also feel like this album kind of drags a little bit. It's pretty bloated at 18 songs long. I just feel like we didn't need everything on there. Because again, there are a lot of forgettable tracks that I listened to and just didn't really even think about at all after. Um, I do think that, relatively speaking, the track list picks up at the very end. Maybe the last like 5 to 6 songs are a lot better than the first like 12 to 13. The runtime on here is only 49 minutes long, and even with the pickup at the end that I mentioned, um, yeah, halfway through it, or even like whenever I get to that pickup, I'm still hoping that the album is going to end soon. Like, I'm just ready to get it over with. Even the performances that I felt stronger about than others are still, in my opinion, just very mid overall. It's not everything on here is super forgettable, but the non-forgettable parts, a lot of the non-forgettable parts are not for a particularly good reason. It's more of just like, you left a nail in my ear, so it lingers. But it's not a good feeling. It's honestly pretty disappointing because I actually do see Don Toliver as someone with a ton of potential. Like I said, like, he has the voice to do it. I do think that he has the rapping skills. We've seen him make hits in the past where he flowed really well. And I don't think that you need to be like a writing genius in order to be a great artist. A lot of the artists I listen to are not writing geniuses, right? They just, they have a good vibe a lot of the time, and I just enjoy hearing their music. But I just have not gotten there yet for Don Toliver, for my personal taste. Again, I do think that he has a ton of potential. I just think to this point so far, he has not been able to put everything together. I hope that he can. Honestly, I think one thing he needs to do is maybe take more time on his projects, because he's released, what, five since 2020, so that's almost one every year. That's only 1 year that he's missed out on. I just think that he needs to take a little more time on these, and really focus more on them, and yeah, get his writing skills a little bit better. And I think that he could come back, in like 2 to 3 years time and really have like a really solid project that like is enjoyable to listen to. This one for me just is not it. So for Octane, I'm going to be giving it a 3.7 overall. But yeah, that's the end of the video. And as I have said in the past, I do encourage y'all to go form your own opinions. Go listen to the music yourself. If you enjoy it, cool. Again, I'm not gonna judge nobody else's music taste. If you enjoy it, go enjoy it. Awesome. I encourage everybody to listen to what they love. Um, don't take me too serious. I'm just doing this for fun. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all are awesome. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on Instagram. Um, do everything that all those other YouTubers tell you to do. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Peace out.